Welcome back, fight fans. In today's video, we bring you the latest news surrounding Conor McGregor and the fate of UFC 303. Alexander Volkanovski throws his name in the hat as a replacement for Conor McGregor. And Jake Paul says karma is undefeated as he mocks Dana White over the rumored canceled UFC 303 main event. Stay tuned because there's plenty more in today's video, so don't be scared, homie. Knock out the like button and subscribe to the channel. And in the words of Big John McCarthy, let's get it all! Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor post cryptic messages online fueling cancellation speculation. On Monday evening, the Irishman took to social media to explain to fans that the press conference was postponed due to a series of obstacles outside of their control. Despite the explanation, fans began to fear that the UFC 303 main event has been cancelled due to the former two-weight world champion pulling out.
The lads who live around this city, who live around from the stadium, look, it's ridiculous, man.
However, nothing has been confirmed as of yet. Iron Mike took to Instagram on Tuesday evening, posting a cryptic message that has further planted doubt in fans' minds. Chandler said, "If you're looking for me, I'll be out in Tennessee. No way out of this life we chose. Walk on. See you at the top." The 38-year-old trains at a Kill Cliff FC based in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Stating that he will be back in Tennessee instead of continuing his fight camp in Florida has sparked some concern, as well as that Iron didn't include the hashtag UFC 303 that he's been doing in a lot of his posts. The Irishman also posted a short but poignant message on Instagram sharing a photo of him and his family captioned, "Thank you, God." Despite the ongoing speculation, the UFC is yet to officially announce the cancellation of UFC 303's main event and is also yet to provide a reason for the cancellation of Monday's press conference. Daniel Cormier fears Conor McGregor's UFC 303 comeback may fall through after the press conference cancellation, and he warns fans that they should brace themselves for the likelihood that the fight won't happen at all.
Start to brace yourself a little bit for disappointment. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, Chael, but let me tell you something about the UFC. Now, Dana White will argue and scream at the media. Dana White will give the media a hard time. Dana White has no problem letting the media down, Chael. You know who Dana White doesn't like letting down? The fans. Doesn't like letting fans down. And when the press conference was canceled, you saw people on Twitter, people on Instagram, speaking of having their travel, being prepared to go and watch, flying over to Dublin to watch a presser. That's disappointment. Dana White also doesn't like letting them down, and he tries to over-deliver for fans. So, to me, it feels like this is a big deal. Look, I have reached out to many in the organization to try to find out what happened. And when everybody is tight-lipped as they are right now, to me, that tells me it's a little worrisome. Chael, I watched Charlie, our guy at ESPN, leave Newark on Saturday morning to fly to Dublin, him and Ray. They're already there. They're in Dublin. I watched Lene Breckenridge, who is the head of PR at the UFC, as I'm going to the back of the arena to talk to Islam Makhachev, fully dressed to get on the plane to fly to Dublin, Ireland for this presser. When did they get the news that this was not happening? It had to be after 1 a.m. on Saturday because we were still getting done with the pay-per-view. She clearly did not know that this was canceled at 1 a.m. on Saturday night. She was on her way to the airport or to the private plane, how they travel. Chael, I feel it's a big deal. I feel it's a little worrisome, and I'm glad that you have your rose-colored glasses on. But I don't know if maybe you should kind of shine them up a little bit and start looking a little more clearly.
I think it's just heating up. It's getting spicy. This is the lead up to any McGregor fight. There's always a controversy. There's always something crazy happening.
Cancelling a press conference in Dublin a month before he's supposed to fight in Vegas, not necessarily sending the best message. So surely it's got to be something fairly significant. We know for certain that it wasn't Chandler, because Chandler was ready to go. He's ready to get on the plane. So this had something to do with McGregor.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with drugs or alcohol or any kind of illicit usage or anything like that. So
it's exactly what he would say if it had something to do with one of those things.
Explicitly said. So here's what he said. In consultation with the UFC.
So when talking to the UFC.
Yeah, talking to the UFC. Today's press conference was cancelled due to a series of obstacles outside of our control. I can't wait to put on the greatest all-time show in the octagon. So he's clearly he's planning to fight.
He's building the hype. This is all a ploy,
Yeah.
I don't understand what obstacles there are that stops McGregor getting to the press conference, because he's saying McGregor Sports and Entertainment, in consultation with the UFC, have come up against several obstacles to drive to an arena and talk. Like, what is...
You do wonder whether or not, like, something happened in camp where the UFC goes, oh shit, do we really want to pump a shitload of money flying everyone out there for something that may or may not happen?
The speculation begins.
Well, that's the thing, because
when has McGregor not shown up for a fight?
That's true.
He was injured for Cerrone, had injury obviously
The
going
Aldo
into
was
the
the worst
Poirier
one.
fight, the Aldo one or the Mendez fight. Super injured,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mendes.
And he
rather,
shows
yeah.
up every time regardless because of the fans and the people that invest in him. He's got a really old quote that's like, if you don't show up and perform, you're insulting all the people that believe in you. And I feel like he still does echo that.
I think as well, with all the mounting pressure of everyone wanting to see Conor McGregor back for such a long time, and it's now sort of the linchpin of this event that is like taken so long, and it's like, has the steam run out? Do we care anymore? Is the rivalry going to be worth watching? I think the UFC will do everything they can to keep this fight happening.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even injuries or not, obviously Chandler is desperate for it because obviously everything it means to him. And then Conor is like, seemingly everything Conor says in interviews, which I don't think we can trust, but he's desperate to get back in and fight for the love of fighting.
Well, that's the word as well from people around him. That he is super committed and he's fully in training camp and he is
yeah,
super
but it's
focused.
like you think back to the Khabib, all
mean
the
drunk
build up,
camp?
yeah, and like Kavanaugh and all that stuff. We're talking like this was McGregor. He's doing his thing. He's committed. He's ready.
And then
he's
afterwards
doing
they
his
said
fight.
it
And yeah,
totally
it was like
wasn't.
he was having paid bouts in hotel rooms with Russian wrestlers.
Yeah.
and he would go away for 3 weeks and then come back and do it again. And it's like he clearly wasn't in camp, clearly drinking and partying and going through some kind of depression.
But the Cerrone camp wasn't like that at all.
I think he got a bit embarrassed from that.
Well, that's like the oldest PR trick in the book, isn't it? Oh, yeah, this camp's going better than ever.
Yeah, of course.
Because you don't want your opponent to know that, and you don't want the fans to feel like they're not going to buy now, So there's so much that goes into it. But it could just be the same thing as UFC 200, where he's like, I haven't fought in a while. This fight means a lot to me, and I'm just going to train. But the occurrence of it happening like 20 hours before it was supposed to happen probably leans towards it actually being some sort of occurrence. And
2 weeks ago, when we were on the show, you said Mike was sending out essentially victory drinks to everybody. And I said, hold on, I don't like this. You don't dance in the end zone until you get the ball there. And I remember this football player. I don't watch a lot of football, but I remember this highlight. This guy is high stepping on the way in, and the guy behind him hustles him, punches that ball
Leon
out.
Lett. It was Leon Lett. Dallas
Okay.
Cowboys. Oh,
Okay.
that was one of the most bonehead plays of all time.
That's what happened. You don't dance till you're in the end zone.
Wait, the
So,
fight's still on, though. The fight's still
I
on.
understand, but you're not in the end zone until you're walking to the octagon. That's when you're in the end zone. Then you're like, okay, we had at that point it's 6 weeks. Now we got I think it's 4 weeks maybe. Yeah, I'm not 100% it's happening.
Are you concerned that the fight won't happen?
I would say you are lying if you don't have at least a little bit of concern.
I've
You're
got
lying.
a little bit. I've got a little
You have a
bit
little
of. I've got a little bit of hesitancy, if I'm being honest. It's not good. But Conor did say, in consultation with the UFC today, his press conference was canceled due to a series of obstacles outside of our control. I apologize to my Irish fans and fans around the world for the inconvenience and appreciate all your passion and support. I cannot wait to put on the greatest
Yeah, Conor
all-time
didn't say
show
That was
in the
that
octagon.
was a what do they call it? A PR person. That was a PR person.
Conor wrote that, no?
You just
You don't think so?
come on, man.
According to Ariel Helwani, the promotion has sent out feelers to see which fighters may be able to fill in on short notice to replace McGregor. Max Holloway is a name that's been thrown out by fans, with the possible BMF title fight against Michael Chandler being something that would intrigue the masses. Not only that, but the promotion is also reportedly looking for an entirely new fight to headline the International Fight Week event in case the original fight is cancelled. Although the options are likely to be few and far between, there will likely be some willing fighters willing to to throw their names into the hat to become the new UFC 303 main event, despite the short notice. Alexander Volkanovski has previously stated that he would step in on short notice to fight the Notorious at UFC 303, but he has now made it clear that he would step up to fight anyone as long as it's a big fight.
And now I'm absolutely hounding my manager saying, what do you reckon, man? What do we do? What do we do? And he's like, relax,
You said UFC 303, you're like, hey, like this thing's kind of falling apart. So from what we understand so far, press conference got cancelled. We don't know exactly what's happening with Conor McGregor, but let's say that call did come through. How tempting is that? I know October is when you want to come back, but International Fight Week main event, you and Michael Chandler potentially.
I mean, something like that, yes.
Or you, I suppose, maybe someone else.
Mate, like, I reckon, 100%. You know, I'll be.
Is it the Chandler fight for you, or is it?
I mean, just as long as it's a big fight, you know what I mean. As long as it's a big fight, I wouldn't just take any fight. You know, because like you said, that's a big deal. Save the day as well. I know. I feel like I love just saving the day as well. I'm just that good of a guy. I might have to save the day. I'll save the day. Yeah. So, but obviously get paid well for it as well. But you never know. But I just was mucking around with that. I don't even know if there's probably nothing even happened. It's probably just a couple of little hiccups and everyone's blowing it out of proportion. But I will just have fun and throw the name out there just for a bit of a laugh.
Jake Paul is no stranger to having his events postponed, with his upcoming fight against Mike Tyson recently moved due to a medical emergency on the boxing legend's side. The pair were due to fight July 20th at AT&T Stadium in Texas, but when paramedics were called over an ulcer flare-up, it was the doctor's recommendation that Tyson take some time away from training. This led to his event being postponed, with the pair expected to announce a new date this week. Asked about the event being moved at UFC 302's post-fight press conference, White told the media,
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is delayed. I know you're close with Mike. I guess, are you happy that they're looking out for his health in that instance? And do you even think it should be rescheduled, period, given this ulcer flare-up?
100%. Yeah, obviously I know a lot about it, but I'm not going to talk about it publicly. Yeah, yeah.
And after White was forced to push back a major sold-out event of his own yesterday, Paul has taken to X to use those same words against him. The YouTuber turned boxer started his tweet off by saying, "People keep asking me about Conor McGregor /UFC 303. He then repeated White's phrasing as it pertains to the McGregor situation, writing, "Obviously I know a lot about it, but I'm not going to talk about it publicly. For the first time probably ever in my life, I have no comment on something. That's their world, and they get pissed at me every time I talk about that stuff. Good for them, and they'll figure it out." Now let's take a look at the top 3 comments left on yesterday's video. MMA Casual says, "Worst fighter in the history of the UFC. Literally responsible for wasting time and money of his fans." The Weed Man 42420 says, "Islam is and will stay in Khabib's shadow until he becomes two-weight world-class champ." And Van City Slicker 2844 says, "I'd rather be waterboarded than listen to Bilal speak or fight." If you want your comments highlighted on tomorrow's video, simply comment down below. We'll highlight the top best comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and feature them in tomorrow's video. And that does it for today's video, but make sure you're liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and clicking the bell notification so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. And in case you missed it, check out yesterday's news.